5 things you should know. Hi, how you doing? I'm Trudi Daniels, and hot off the press is the hot new 2016 inductees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the rock acts are Deep Purple, Yes, Steve Miller, Cheap Trick. By the way, we woke up Tom Peterson of Cheap Trick this morning to break him the news.
We didn't know about this ahead of time.
Oh, this is like a Nobel Prize then?
Well, it's way better than that. Come on, Nobel Prize. That's a piece of cake. Glad I'm talking to you first. We have quite a close connection with kind of Michigan in general. We played a lot in Detroit when we started out, in Ann Arbor, Lansing. About half of our road crew are all from Detroit.
Janet Jackson, and since HBO ultimately turns this into a big TV event in 2016, can they risk Janet pulling another nip slip, perhaps? But they did get through Miley Cyrus last year, so. Hope we're all happy for Julie Leach, who is a woman who won $310 million and some change in the Powerball lottery this week. Western side of Michigan, she works at a fiberglass factory, or should I say she worked at a fiberglass factory, because she don't know mo.
I was having a really bad night at work, went to McDonald's for lunch. Thought, well, I might as well check my numbers while I'm sitting here waiting for my lunch, and that's when I realized that I was the winner. I didn't believe it.
So will it be awkward for Julie's partner, not quite husband, who hopes to be a husband now that the bank accounts can be joined with $310 million in them? She says,
I said he'd have to sign a prenup now.
Preteen girl in Texas sneezes 12,000 times a day. Now, the doctors don't know what's causing it, although they did have a case a couple of years ago that was triggered by a strep infection. In the meantime, one of the things that helps her out, listening to the Beatles.
Listening to the Beatles helps Caitlin relax.
And Benadryl, of course, which makes you sleep like a baby. We should all thank God that we don't live in South Carolina, where this week they suffered from biblical floods. But guess who the survivors of the floods were? Where people weren't effectively getting away from the floods. Ants joined pinchers and made a raft of themselves, and there was a gigantic red ant island in the middle of the Atlantic that survived this entire debacle. Other news from South Carolina. This is classy. Man dials 911 because his girlfriend won't have sex with him. Dude called 911. He's 53 years old. He'd been drinking all day long, and his expectation was that at the end of the day, when his girlfriend came home, they would have sex. When she wouldn't get it on with him, he called 911 to complain that he couldn't get any ass like that to the police. Her reasoning had to be that after an all-day beer session, he wasn't all that sexy, but she also had to take care of the grandchildren. And the creator of 5 Hour Energy, which is partially headquartered in Farmington Hills, so go Michigan, has decided that he's going to give people something to do while they're on 5 Hour Energy. And so he proposed this week the invention of a brand new exercycle/energy system that he says will power the average appliance an entire day after only 1 hour on the bike.
Have you tried great tasting 5 Hour Energy lately?
And that's 5 things you should know.